Yeah, guys, welcome back to another video, and it has happened. The grand final has happened. Collingwood are indeed the 2023 premiers. I think I've jinxed every single game going on from the prelim onwards. Let's have a look. These have just come to my mind. I tipped GWS, didn't I? Collingwood won. I think I've jinxed every Collingwood game. No, I tipped him against Melbourne. So just this one and the grand final, which is, of course, the biggest game of them all. It was a fantastic game of footy. I got a lot of the predictions right. I said it would be a high-scoring game, but we're going to go over that We're going to go over everything shortly. But first of all, congratulations to Collingwood and to Brisbane. You'll be back for sure, bigger and stronger. They're one of the teams that I reckon can definitely come back from a grand final defeat and turn it around next year. Alrighty, so let's go over what notes I had and what I stated. So the first thing I said was two good teams offensively, and it would be a high-scoring game. Now, there was many people throughout the week saying it wouldn't be a high-scoring game. I'm not going to name anyone, but even, I don't know, there was a lot of people just saying it was not going to be a high-scoring game, but it sure was, all right? I had a lot of my mates tell me it was going to be a low-scoring game, and it certainly wasn't. So that's one that we got right. The first goal, Zach Bailey. Now, I understand the first goal's Nick Dacos, but who was the first goal for Brisbane? I'll count that as a tick in my books. Zach Bailey kicked the first goal for Brisbane. Alrighty, 29-20 at quarter time, pies by 8, missed opportunities. That was indeed the case. They could have been up by a lot more for sure, couldn't they? What was the quarter time score? Can you have a look? Yeah, 4-4, 28 to 3 straight 18. It was a 10-point game. My scoreline was so similar to that. I had Collingwood 29, Brisbane 20, and Collingwood kicking points, and they did. They kicked 4 goals for. They certainly could have kicked a few more in that quarter. At halftime, I had 51-42 Brisbane. Now, that was a little bit off, but again, the margin is tight. This was a 9-point game I had. It was a 6-point game in reality. And again, I had pies with 8 missed opportunities. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I had 8 missed opportunities here, and it was an extra 5 by the looks of it. Brisbane kicking straight. What else did I have? Comeback third quarter for the Pies. In fact, it was a bit of a Brisbane comeback quarter. Here's something. Brisbane won every single quarter aside from the last quarter. No, aside from the first quarter. And they still ended up losing the game. How crazy is that? They won every single quarter aside from the first quarter. And they still ended up losing the game. Jeez. And they only lost by 4 points. So that's Anyway, at 3-quarter time, 75-76 is what I predicted. It was 75. Got that right, to 71. So Collingwood was still 75, as I said, but Brisbane was indeed 71 and not 76, which might have cost them in the end. I said full-time score 90-93. It was 90-86. So, geez, if you don't think that's close, I don't know what you're doing, mate, because that just gives you enough proof and evidence that you need to subscribe, because I'm predicting everything right. Norm Smith had Josh Dunkley. That was my one-off. So, yeah, nothing much to say about that. Bobby Hill probably deserved it. He played a good game. Losing hero, I had Geordie De Goey. Now, he wasn't a losing hero, but he sure was a hero, especially with 2 big goals when Collingwood needed it. He probably kicked the biggest goal of the game. I had Joe Daniher to kick the winning goal. And Joe Daniher indeed kicked the last goal for Brisbane and almost won them the game. Had that 50 not been paid, and yeah, Collingwood didn't get an extra goal throughout the game. Probably was 50, but whatever throughout the game that you can find an example. Brisbane probably would have won the game. Now, there was a lot of people saying that Brisbane ultimately were robbed, that the umpiring was atrocious, but I thought it was all right throughout the day. It was just maybe that last call, advantage call, that favoured Collingwood, that played a massive part in the game, because Lachie Neale would have hit someone up. He's good. So, who knows? I reckon Brisbane might have won had Lachie Neale had that free kick, but can't change anything now, can you? So, the Pies are the premiers. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, and make sure to subscribe.